Madam President, in the United States of America, nearly all women, 99%, use some form of contraception in their lifetime to prevent unplanned pregnancy. They use birth control pills, IUDs, condoms, and other devices. And many women who are not sexually active still use birth control to manage medical conditions. Further, almost every woman who identifies as religious has used a contraceptive method in her lifetime. 99% of mainline Protestants, evangelical Protestants and Catholics, and 96% of people with other religious affiliations. In short, women in all stages of life in America and of all religious backgrounds rely on birth control. It's their constitutional right. It is their decision. But this right, this decision, is now under attack. Over a month ago, in Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health Organization, the United States Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade, revoking for the first time ever an established constitutional right, the right to reproductive health care. And I fear that the court's assault on our fundamental freedoms is just beginning. In his concurrence in the Dobbs opinion, Justice Clarence Thomas urged the Supreme Court, and I quote, to reconsider all of this court's substantive due process precedents, including Griswold, Lawrence, and Obergefell. He made reference in that statement to 3 Supreme Court decisions which have been on the books for over 50 years. That is an explicit threat by Justice Thomas against the very right to same-sex marriage, the right to consensual relationships between LGBTQ people, and the right to contraception, which has been protected by the court's decision in Griswold versus Connecticut for 55 years. In that case, Griswold, a supermajority of 7 Supreme Court justices ruled that married couples have a right to access contraception. They based it on a word which you will not find in the Constitution: privacy. Now, more than a half a century later, we are living in an America where women are no longer guaranteed this right to privacy, this right to reproductive health care, and where their very right to contraception is now in doubt and in jeopardy. This is not some alarmist rant. At this very moment, women in America are being denied their constitutional right to contraception. How could that possibly be in this country? Well, look no farther than your local pharmacy. This past weekend, USA Today reported on the story of Abigail Martin, a young woman who's been taking birth control pills for the past 6 years. She went to a Walgreens pharmacy to refill her birth control prescription, which had been prescribed by her doctor. She was turned away by a pharmacist at Walgreens. It took 4 days before she was finally able to access her medication by going to a different pharmacist. That is a dangerous delay in healthcare. Apparently, Walgreens allows its pharmacists to refuse to fill a prescription for which they have, quote, a religious or moral conviction, and to refer the customer to another employee or manager on duty who can complete the transaction. Since Abigail's story went viral, other Walgreens customers have come forward to say that cashiers refused to ring up their condoms because they announced it violated their faith. A pharmacist should not be able to unilaterally decide that their personal moral or religious beliefs can delay or interfere with the medical needs of a patient standing at the cash register buying a legal medication. Which is why this week I sent a letter to the CEO of Walgreens, an Illinois corporation, for an explanation of their policy. If Walgreens is going to allow its individual employees to dictate what legal medical products customers can purchase, then the company should make this policy known to the public. They should be required to display signs at their cash registers alerting customers and the public that they may not be able to fill their prescriptions or buy healthcare products, sell healthcare products in a timely manner. Given this information, customers may decide to take their business elsewhere, to a pharmacy that does not allow individual staff members to restrict or interfere with their customers' legal purchasing decisions. A woman's right to essential health care should not differ based on which pharmacy she chooses, who fills her prescription, or who rings it up. Her right to this personal decision in her life is fundamental. Fundamental. That's why Congress must pass the Right to Contraception Act, introduced by Senators Markey and Murray. This is a common sense proposal, and I've co-sponsored it. It would codify the right to contraception in America nationwide, a right that has been undisputed for 55 years. We need this legislation because now women in America are living with the consequences of 6 unelected judges erasing the constitutional right to reproductive health care, and that pharmacies like Walgreens are allowing their employees to dictate what health care products consumers are able to purchase. Walgreens says they want to be respectful of the moral judgment of their employees and staff. Should they not also be respectful of their customers? Politicians and pharmacists have no business standing between a woman and health care. If protecting this right sounds like common sense to you, then join us in supporting the Right to Contraception Act. If the Supreme Court will not respect this fundamental personal right, you have the right to demand that your member of Congress will.